Darren Peterson and Caleb Williams got into an insane clash, and we learned a lot about the two players. First of all, let's talk about Peterson. He finished with 22 points on 8 for 14 shooting. And look, let's talk about Caleb Wilson too. 24 points, 7 rebounds, and dished out 4 assists. Also had 4 steals. Look, UNC blew out Kansas in the second half. They poured in 58 points. But look, this is why the Jayhawks look so terrible, even with Peterson having a good game. First of all, the Jayhawks team flaws showed up. They were outscored 58-37 in the second half. And I just want to shout out UNC's Seth Trimble. He was playing great defense on Peterson. He was limiting his effect despite the volume. The Jayhawks seem to lack adjustments. Scoring from Peterson alone isn't enough. The supporting cast was beatable, and the team got out-executed in the second half. So here's the takeaway. Peterson is clearly a strong individual, but Kansas as a unit, they look disjointed and vulnerable. A great guard helps, but he can't carry a poorly functioning system alone. And Caleb Williams is way too underrated, I'm sorry man. His size and mobility is absolutely insane. First of all, he stands at 6'10", which gives him tremendous positional flexibility. His mobility, it's evident. Look, he obviously has ridiculous athleticism for a 6'10" player. He has that dive on the floor energy. He has the snappy passes. And he has those perfect fadeaway turnarounds that translate very well into the NBA. He defies traditional labels. He's big enough to defend inside. He's fluid enough to play outside, and he has a shooting touch, even if it is still developing. And look, the hype around his name, it's still developing. He's one of the best freshmen in Carolina history. And in this game, he impacted in multiple categories, whether that's points, boards, assists, and steals, showing his all-around potential. In short, Wilson's frame, mobility, versatile game, it gives him a high floor and a high ceiling. And many are underrating just how soon he could contribute at that next level. Now look, let's talk about how good Peterson is. His poise, his guard instincts, and his defined frame is just out of this world. He's 6'5" with a 6'10" wingspan, and that is very scary for a guard. Now look, scouting report highlights, they say that his effortless ability to score and make plays from a variety of spots, it's a true combo guard. He's a natural poised player. He is already NBA caliber in IQ, and he knows how to draw fouls, how to get easy points. When we talk about Peterson, we're talking about a player that could immediately come in the NBA and have an impact on any team, even if it is a contender. And look, when I look at his game, when I look at him as a player, he's really buff. He is defined. Look, let's compare him to players who play like him. Duke, Kyrie Irving, Pelicans, Jeremiah Fears. In terms of play styles, they play like him, but they weren't nearly as defined as him. When I look at Peterson, he's big, which makes him stand out because he's already 6'5", and already has a really good motor. He has versatility. Whether it's his handle on or off the ball, his multi-level scoring, playmaking, and defensive tools, he could get it all done. And for a young guard, that kind of composure and physical package, that is rare. And as I said, he is ready to step in any big role immediately, right off the bat. Now look, if y'all know me, I'm not just gonna glaze without no criticism. And for Caleb Wilson, though he's very mobile and impactful, his outside shot still seems inconsistent, and as good as his athleticism and intensity shows, his decision making under pressure will be tested way more as more defense is key on him. So we have to see how he reacts to that. And being a freshman, he may run into a classic bigger role, more focus on him, more trap scenario. Will he sustain the production when opponents scheme for him? When teams start double teaming him, trap him in a corner? How is he going to deal with that? That's a huge question. And for Peterson, look, it's a jump shot consistency, especially from deep range. Scouting notes say he was under 31% from behind the arc in high volume play. That's pretty shaky. A guard with high usage eventually will need to operate within a complete team system. In Kansas, they showed some cracks when the supporting cast couldn't keep up. While poised, he's still young. As the focal point, he'll draw heavy attention, and he'll need to navigate that complexity. Now look, quick shout out to Bryson Tiller, who had a super good game. And I just want to talk about the perfect teams Caleb Wilson and Peterson would fit on. Literally the perfect teams. Now look, for Caleb Wilson, the Boston Celtics need him. Boston values big wings and forwards who can switch, play multiple positions, defend, rebound, and contribute offensively. Wilson, he brings all of that. He brings size, versatility, mobility, and he just matches the Celtics' modern blueprint perfectly. Additionally, his underrated status means he could be a high-value pick that can develop into a key piece rather than a guaranteed star expense. Also, we know Joe Mazzulla loves taking advantage of mixed matches. He did it for Tatum last year, he loved to do it for Porzingis. He loves having big forwards with that mid-range, post up in the middle of the key, post up on the side of the floor, and shoot that mid-range over the defender. Basically, Joe Mazzulla loves big guys who can shoot because they can take advantage of mixed matches all over the court. I need Caleb Wilson on my team, man. That is just such a perfect fit. And for Darren Peterson, he'd be a perfect fit for the Atlanta Hawks. Now look, I already know they have Trae Young, but let me explain myself. The Hawks could be looking for a guard who can run the show sometimes when Trae's on the bench. Peterson's combo guard skill set, it aligns really well. His poise and scoring ability fit into a system that needs a lead type guard. Someone to take big pressure off the wings and bigs, it's huge. And as we know, Atlanta doesn't have that many point guards right now besides Trae. Their second point guard option is Keaton Wallace, who is very underdeveloped and unproven. Also, Atlanta already has pieces. A guard like Peterson could elevate them to a playoff hopeful team to automatic championship contenders. And look, I don't think it would be that bad of an idea if Atlanta trades for their first pick. Maybe trades Trae Young, even though I don't think it'd be the right idea. I don't think it would necessarily be the wrong idea either if they do trade Trae Young if it doesn't work out, to get Peterson, who could run that point guard spot for him. And then Trae Young can go to another team, hopefully a contender, and go contend there, and probably have more success than he ever will in Atlanta. It works for both sides. But that's just my thoughts, man. I want to know what y'all think about Caleb Wilson. Personally, I am a huge fan of Caleb Wilson. I need that man on the Celtics. If y'all like my content, subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like. And until later, I'll see you on Mars. Peace.
You telling me you falling out of love with me. Hope you can find someone to love you better than I did. Taking our memories on love and treating it like nothing. Taking our memories on love and treating it like gossip. It's my love for my grandmother make me gentle when I care for you. Tell me you're falling out of love, she's breaking my heart in two.